Please state your name and affiliation before asking a question, and designate which student athlete your question is directed towards. We'll start with an opening question from Coach, and then we'll take questions for the student athletes, and then we'll take questions for Coach. So we're now joined by the University of Georgia. We have senior Jenna Stady, senior Michaela Coombs, and head coach Joni Taylor. Coach Taylor, if you'd like to start with an opening statement.
Iowa State's a really, really good team. We knew that coming in. Played in a great environment tonight. And you just got to give them credit. They did what they do well, and we didn't have an answer for it. We knew that taking away the three was going to be really important. Winning the rebounding battle was going to be really important, and we didn't do either one of those things. They got off to a really quick start, and once they get a lead, it's really, really hard to get back in it because they don't turn it over, they don't foul you, and they make it really tough defensively. So I thought our ladies fought to the very end, really proud of their effort, just came up short tonight.
We'll now take questions for the student athletes, and we'll start with Brandon.
Brandon Sajve, Landry Constitution. Jenna, I mean, I've dreaded asking you this question now for almost a year, but can you take me into your emotions and what it meant to you to wear that uniform and play for your head coach?
I'm just so grateful for her and be able to, for Coach Joni to take me back home and take me back another year. She didn't have to take me back. And I didn't pick Georgia first. I picked Maryland, and she welcomed me right back home. She fixed me. I was broken when I came back to Georgia, and she fixed me, and she, in this program, have made me a better person, and I will forever be grateful for her and all my teammates.
Love you.
Me too.
Hey, and then, Kayla, I mean, in terms of the game itself, I mean, when Iowa State comes out in the zone and jumps out to that 11 nothing lead, I mean, is at that point, I mean, just how tough did it get for you guys when you guys, sorry, but when Iowa State on defense was kind of taking you guys out of what you guys like to do offense?
Yeah, I think when they jump out that quickly and we had a couple of defensive breakdowns and that led to turnovers, and then they were coming down hitting threes, and it's just hard to trade threes for twos at that point, and we just couldn't get the ball in the hole in the first couple of minutes. So like Coach Joni said, it was just really hard to battle back because we dug ourselves into that hole, and they're a really good team. So it was really hard to even try and capitalize on those moments.
And then Michaela as well. I mean, I know obviously that you might have a decision to make here, but in terms of Jenna and Hugh and those guys who have finished it up here, I mean, can you speak on what it meant to play with Jenna and Hugh, and also the significance of playing under Joni as your coach?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Joni is everything to us. She's our mother figure, so just being able to play for her is always just a blessing. And, I mean, we go out and play our hearts out for her every day, so to come up short, it really sucks because, like, I mean, we do everything for her, so it really is hard trying to take this all in. And as far as Jenna and Q, like, they're going to be some of my best friends for life, so seeing them have to go out like this, like, that's really hard. But to speak to what they've done to this program, there's no words. They've done everything they can possibly do. Their legacy that they've left here is just amazing, and we can't thank them enough for that.
And the last thing I have, I mean, for both of you guys, I mean, obviously, you guys had some tournament appearances. You guys got to this point, but can you speak on the culture of this program and why there's a positive outlook for this program to get itself to the Sweet 16 eventually?
I think just I think we just left leadership, and every day I was there in practice, I really just I would talk to the post, talk to Jill, and tell her like, this is what you need to do, like and just kind of give her the confidence, and I think that they know how much I love this program. I wouldn't have came back here another year if I didn't love this program, and I think they just know that stay the course, and if things aren't going your way, just put your head down and work. And I think every one of them is going to play so hard, and I think that's just something that we left, me and Q, Michaela, Mal, because of the seniors that we've had before us, we wanted to leave behind. Don't have any regrets. Play your hardest, and
I think speaking on the culture of the program, we just have like a really big family environment. So just pushing each other every day and just coming out, just playing as hard as we can. As far as like we're gonna get it together. It's just been a couple of like hard second round games, I guess you'd say. But I think just going back and building on this and just finding a way to get through these tough times is what we're focusing on.
Okay, we'll now move to remote and take a question from McLean Baxley.
Question for Michaela. When you got here in 2019 to now, where would you say the program and the team as a whole has kind of improved, whether on or off the court, from then to now?
I think on the court, we've just gradually got better year by year. I don't think anybody, especially last year and this year, expected us to be where we were. So continuously just working in the off season and shocking people throughout these seasons is what we're trying to focus on. And culture-wise, I think it's just like continuously building on like just a family environment. I mean, these are my sisters, and just continuing to play for each other and just having that love throughout everybody is what we focus on.
Any questions for both Jenna and Michaela? There's been tough losses this season and in years past. I mean, how do y'all kind of cope with loss, but season-ending loss like this? What do the next week or so look like?
Let's start with Jenna and then go to Michaela.
can you ask it again? I'm sorry, I was confused.
Yeah, just from last year, and then there's been losses this season. Obviously, how do y'all kind of cope and compartmentalize a season-ending loss like tonight?
I mean, put your head down and work, and come to practice the next day, and fix everything, figure out what it is, and just keep putting your head down and working. And I think some parts of the season we would lose a game, and then we come to practice, and I don't think not anyone on the court wasn't wanting to fix what it was that we were doing wrong. Yeah.
Just to repeat what Jenna said, basically, I think it's just a matter of just using it as fuel for the next year and just putting our head down and working, like she said. That's all we can do at this point.
That's all the time we have with the student athletes. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, we will now take questions for head coach Joni Taylor.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Brandon.
To see those emotions right there, I can't imagine what that's like as a head coach for somebody who's been in this program for five of your 7 years as coach, who's helped establish the culture. Can you speak on what it meant to coach Jenna Stady, and how do you say you're by, I guess, her playing on the court?
Yeah. We have some really amazing young women in our program, and that's intentional. We're very picky and selective about who we bring in, and this is why. In regards to Jenna, I told our team in the locker room, Jenna and Q for that matter, they made a decision to come to Georgia when we weren't hot, when we were building something. Q was our first commitment in our recruiting class, 2017 recruiting class, and then Jenna came right along with her after she transferred, and they stayed the course. They dug in. It wasn't always pretty. It was great times, not so great times, but they believed in what we want to build at the University of Georgia, and they sacrificed their bodies. They've sacrificed their time. They could have left last year. Both been drafted, and they made the decision to come back, and so. Of course, you're going to miss their impact on the floor. That's stating the obvious, but just who they are as people, how they lead, how they love, and how they represent the University of Georgia, their families, the institution. It's something that I certainly know that our younger players have watched and want to emulate, and will continue to carry on the legacy that they tried to establish at Georgia.
And the next thing, kind of like I asked them, I mean, I know that you guys as a program haven't gotten over that hurdle to get to the Sweet 16 in some time, but like you said, I mean, with you guys have come in, with the culture you guys have built, I mean, how optimistic are you guys that you guys can get over that hurdle, get over that hump eventually, and I mean, as soon as you can?
No, absolutely. It's devastating that we haven't done it already. I mean, it's what we want. You come to Georgia to not be in the NCAA tournament, but to make deep runs in the tournament, and we haven't done that. And that's something that we've got to continue chipping away at. I think as you look at what we've done and who we've recruited and who we continue to bring in, our talent has gotten better every single year, and that continues next year. Now, you've got to replace some leadership. That's not going to be easy. So it's just staying the course, figuring it out piece by piece, and then learning from some of the things that have deterred us from getting past the second round.
And then in terms of the game itself, I mean, similar rebounding numbers, similar shooting percentage. Can you pinpoint what it was that kind of got away from you guys this evening?
Yeah, turnovers to start the game. We turned it over, and they converted 13 points off of our turnovers in the first half. We had some miscommunication. They had wide open threes. And listen, they're very, very good. They stretch you. Everybody shoots the three. They've got an All-American on their roster. Lexi's really good. Emily's a great floor general and can score it. And so they stretch you. And we every time we try to chip into it, they make a big play. Emily would make a three. Lexi would do something. Ashley would go get a good rebound or score it. And so we got to give them credit. They were on their home floor. They had a great crowd behind them. And we turned it over, and we didn't make enough plays. And every time we tried to crawl into that lead, they stepped up and made a really, really big play.
And the last thing I have, I mean, as a head coach, we spoke about your staff continuity. We spoke about your culture time and time again. But how do you kind of take this as like your next chapter as a head coach, and how you've established your own career here at Georgia? I mean, are you happy with where you're at, where your program's at?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I wish I was still playing, right? But in terms of who we are and what we've built and the people we have around us, I couldn't be happier. We have great people in our program. Anybody that touches our program lead with integrity, with a pure heart, and want to represent the University of Georgia in the right way. So I'm extremely proud of the people we have, the players, our staff, our support staff. Our administration is amazing. So yes, I'm very happy with Georgia and where we are, and that's on us to figure out how to get past the second round.
All right, we'll now move to remote and start with a question from Mike Griffith.
Joni, Bill said that Iowa State played some defenses they hadn't even practiced. How much was the zone? How effective was that, do you think? And how much do you attribute that to the start that y'all had?
Mm-hmm. We knew they were going to come out zone. They're really stingy defensively. We knew that coming in. We knew they were going to pack the paint, dare us to shoot the ball, and make it really tough inside for us to get paint touches, whether it was by penetration or getting it to our bigs. And we just, at times, I think we rushed shots. At times, I think we turned it over and didn't stay the course in terms of making them move enough to get it inside and have a really good inside-out game. At one point, they went to a triangle and two. That's something that we've seen as well. And again, we had some looks and didn't make it, but credit them. They rebounded. They boxed us out. They didn't let us go get second chance opportunities. But we expected them to come out and play a zone. Listen, they're really, really good. They've played teams similar to us in their conference, and so when you watch those games, you kind of had a good idea of what we were going to expect tonight, and they answered the call.
We'll now go to McLean Baxley.
Coach, how do you, as a head coach, kind of console this team, both like tonight and the fight home, but also like the next week or so, as you kind of conclude this season?
Yeah, it's really tough in the locker room, right? You've got young ladies who really, really care, and they feel like they've let us down, and that's not the case. Like they've gone out there and they've competed all year and played really, really tough. So it's about making sure that they understand their worth and what moving and turning the next page and getting ready for next year. We'll obviously take some time off and let them refocus and focus academically and rest their bodies, and then we'll have individual meetings and talk about how we want to get better and turn the page and get ready for next year.
Back to Mike Griffith.
Yeah, Joni, I know you're not on the NCAA rules committee and you're not going to change how the women's tournaments run, but just how difficult is it to play a team on their home floor in tournament play?
Well, it's called a home court advantage for a reason, right? It's a great environment to play in. You want to have fans in the stands. It's a great environment. What our challenge is to be one of those top 4 seeds so that we can play at home. And that's what our conversation is. How do we put ourselves in a position so that we are playing at home and create the same environment that Ohio State has, that you see for these first round and second round games when they're playing on their home court. I think last year when we were all in the bubble, there was some parity to that, if you want to say some fairness to that. But we are where we are. I think there's advantages to both. Sometimes when you looked in the past and there was neutral sites, it wasn't as packed. When you have a round of 16 and you're playing at home, those teams are, for the most part, going to kind of fill the arena. And so I think it'll be interesting moving forward to see what happens. But the rules are what they are right now, so our focus can't be going into a tough environment. Our focus has to be being one of those top 4 seeds so that we're at home bringing people into a tough environment.
Last question will go to McLean Baxley.
Michaela kind of talked a bit about getting back in the gym and kind of preparing for next year. Has she or Mallory kind of hinted about a possible return for the next season?
We haven't discussed it yet.
Coach, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
A recording of this press conference will be available in the NCAA